Well, as you've heard, the House voted yesterday to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over the audio tapes of President Joe Biden's interview with Robert Hur in the classified documents case. You know, the audio where he says, hey, I found all the classified stuff when he's talking to his ghostwriter, and the audio of the conversations themselves. The White House has exerted its privilege over the audio recordings to shield it from Congress. So now Garland will be prosecuted. I don't think you think so either. Also happening today, Donald Trump was in D.C. talking to lawmakers, and Representative Tim Burchett was also there and had the privilege of discussing matters with the president. He joins me now to explore more. Tim, good to see you again.
Thank you, brother. Thank you always for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Let's start with that breakfast. You pointed out during the break that Donald Trump not only saw you, Congressman, but he called you by your first name because he remembers people. He remembers people that are on his side. I had a lengthy interview with him that we just shared part one of, and it struck me how loose and confident he seems right now. What was your impression today as he came into the room, said hi to you by your first name, and took all comers? What was it like?
Well, it's classic Trump. You know, he's very personable. The left wears him out all the time on everything, but the reality is, the occupant of the White House now wanders off. He's a dawdling old man who can't find the soft-serve ice cream machine in the White House. And Trump is a 180-degree difference of that. And he knew people's names. He was calling things, stories about campaign issues. I asked him a question, and he called me Tim. He said, Tim, I said, you do a great job, Mr. President, of telling us what's wrong with this country, and you do an even better job of telling us how to fix it. And I said, I would encourage you to continue telling us how to fix it as much as possible. And he agreed. He talked about what we need to do on immigration. He talked about, he talked about China and their, monopoly of our steel business and getting us and hurting this country economically. He talked about the border. He talked about, Americans. The interesting thing, one thing I took from this, and I've seen great leaders like this many times, he talked about an issue about doing away with the income tax on people that get tips in restaurants, working moms and dads, right, and just trying to make ends meet. And he said, I got that from a waitress. Now, he didn't say I got it from somebody at Harvard or I got it from some big think tank. He said he got it from a waitress, and he listens. And that's what we've got to have in this White House, because this guy gets it. Yeah, he's a billionaire. I've been with him. He stops and talks to the custodian, and it drives Secret Service crazy.
He does. Well, that position on tips, he made that announcement first time, I think, in the stop in Las Vegas last week. And I will tell you something. That will bring him a tremendous amount of votes, because being a waitress or a waiter, it's the kind of job that you can have one bread earner in the family that can make ends meet. And if you take the taxes away from the money they make on tips, it will make them much more successful. It is a vote-earning idea, and lowering taxes on people is something that will generate more economic activity in this country. He knows that. You see, that's why it's important to have somebody that understands economics in the White House as opposed to whatever it is we have now.
That is correct. 100%. I should have ran you for Republican Party chairman. We're adding $1 trillion every 100 days under this administration, $1 trillion with no plan to pay it back. We reward all these bad alphabet agencies with more money. Unfortunately, we don't have the guts to cut it. I voted for several cuts. They don't ever seem to pass. But continuing on that same path, we got to have a strong leader at the helm. And we do not have that, and we have not had that for the last 3 years. And if you've seen the latest videos of the president overseas, everywhere he is, he wanders off. His stage presence is zero. And it's just an embarrassment. There he is at D-Day. He's going to sit down. I don't know what he's doing. Jill's like, hey, honey, wait a minute. Don't sit down yet.
We have a couple of ideas about what he's doing there, but it's a family program. Listen, yes. Joe Biden wandered off today at the G7 meeting, and they had to go. The world leaders, one had to grab him and kind of turn him around, and then the rest of them just came over and got around him to make it look like, well, this is normal. It's not normal. But what are your options? Putting Kamala Harris in the Oval Office? I don't think that's any option at all. The option comes on November the 5th. But let me ask you about this, because this is something else that Donald Trump talked about with me, and I'm sure he talked about behind closed doors. That's energy. Because energy is the path to paying off our debt. Energy is a way that we can retire some of this multi-trillion-dollar debt that we have, so we don't saddle it with our kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. We can be energy independent, we can be prosperous, and we don't have to be beholden to Iran or China or Russia or anybody that hates us. What are your thoughts?
Well, remember, under Trump, we were exporting energy, and our enemies feared us and our friends respected us once again. He outlined several things. Some of the processing facilities in Houston, where apparently it's the only place, I think, in the country that can do this type of processing, and what goes into that. And you know, he understands the economy. Now, the Biden administration and the left-wing media is quick to point out, they permitted more oil wells than all time. But what they haven't told you is they're not permitting the pipelines. And the we're drinking out of a swizzle stick, and we need to be out of a fire.
That's right.
And
they're blocking us on energy at every turn. Look, they're not giving the permits, because you get the permit to drill, but it takes a lot more permits to process, to transport, to do everything else. You understand that. Most Americans reading the papers do not. I'm glad you do. I have to leave it there today, Congressman. Truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. And please pray for our country and get out and vote. We don't need to get our political advice from The View. Use that brain God gave you and get out and vote.
You got that right. Tennessee common sense, sir. Thank you very much.